Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have my May book of the month, so let's check it out and see what's inside. All right, here we go. When you open the box, it says you've got great taste, and this month it is shrink wrapped in with the bookmark. Okay, got to love this month's bookmark. Love it. But let's crack this open and check out my May book of the month. I chose the book How Lucky by Will Lech. This is a contemporary fiction, and it says being the sole witness to a crime proves complicated in this funny, heartwarming story of a hero hiding in plain sight. So I cannot wait to read this one. The other choices for May include Things We Lost to the Water by Eric Gwynn, and that is historical fiction. There is a thriller called The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. There's a contemporary fiction called Imposter Syndrome, and that is by Kathy Wang. And the last one is a fantasy called Ariadne, and that is by Jennifer Saint. My book of the month for April was The Hunting Wives, and this is by May Cobb. And honestly, I did not love this book at all. I wouldn't recommend it. I think a lot of it is just personal preference. I did not love, there's a lot of themes about cheating and older women, high school kids. It's just, this was not my cup of tea. But, you know, they're not all going to be my cup of tea. If you liked it, let me know in the comments below. But I did finish it. I read the whole thing. I did want to know. It's kind of like a whodidit sort of mystery. But again, not my favorite book. But this is The Hunting Wives by May Cobb. The other book I ordered for the month of April was an add-on, and it was The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. And I am telling you, go buy this book right now. This is the best book. It's one of the best books I've read in a really long time. Definitely my favorite that I've read all year. I know I might say that every month, but this is definitely my favorite. I loved the time jump from present day to the 1700s and how it all kind of tied together. And I started this YouTube channel doing essential oils, and there's a little bit of essential oils in this, a little plot twist with a bottle of essential oils. So that was fun for me as well, but that was just a small part of the book. But I love this book, highly recommend it. If you've read it, let me know if you loved it as much as I did in the comments below. But if you haven't, I highly recommend go get it. And if you live nearby and you want to borrow it, let me know. Love it. I also read one more book this month that was not a book of the month, and that was Firefly Lane. And this is by Kristin Hannah. And I watched the Netflix show, and I loved the Netflix show. And it kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger. And I thought, well, you know what? Let me figure out what is really happening. Let me read the book. The book, you know, is always better than the movie or the TV show, and this is no exception. This book blows the Netflix series out of the water. It is night and day. There's a lot of it that follows, and you definitely, after watching Netflix, picture the characters as the actresses that played them, but there's so much more to this book than the Netflix show, and I couldn't put it down. I loved it. It was so good. And the author, Kristin Hannah, I have noticed, I think it's called The Four Winds, is one of the book of the month. I think it was maybe February, one of the choices, and I'm hoping it's still in the add-ons because I definitely want to grab that book because I loved her writing. I loved Firefly Lane. Even if you didn't love the Netflix series, you might love this book. It was so good. Highly recommend it. That was such a treat for me to read this month as well. This was everything in my May book of the month box. The book of the month, I didn't even go over that. It is a subscription box, and every month they give you several books to choose from, and you can choose one. You can add some add-ons for an additional cost, but I will have a coupon code where you can get your first book for just $5. So be sure to check that out in the comments below. And if you have read any good things any good things, anything good lately, please let me know. Leave that in the comments below. I'm always looking for new things to read. I have had such a blast making reading more of a priority this year and have read so many great things. So thank you to Book of the Month for getting me back to reading. And if you have any questions about how the subscription works, leave those in the comments below as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.